Just as American President Donald Trump signaled a reset in ties with India, his aide, Peter Navarro, is back in the spotlight once again. The White House trade advisor has once again linked India with the Ukraine conflict and has even accused sections of the Indian society of profiteering from Russian oil. While PM Modi and Donald Trump have exchanged warm signals, Navarro's comments may complicate the ties. Here's the full story.
Peter Navarro clearly doesn't like India, and apart from Donald Trump, he has done more damage to America's relationship with India in recent times than anyone else. As a senior counselor on trade and manufacturing to U.S. President Donald Trump, his advice and remarks have been costing America friends and alienating its partners. While Trump did acknowledge that despite differences, the relationship with India remains special, and this was met with a positive response from Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Navarro appears keen to stop any resolution. And it is quite likely that he is doing so at the instructions of his boss, who may want to keep playing good cop, bad cop.
And are you ready to reset relations with India at this point?
I always will. I'll always be friends with Modi. He's great. Prime Minister, he's great.
Navarro has described Ukraine's conflict as Modi's war because India purchases oil from Russia. He has said Brahmins are profiteering from Russian oil purchases. And his latest salvo against India was again over the same issue. He said on social media platform X, and I quote, "Facts. India, highest tariffs cost U.S. jobs. India buys Russian oil purely to profit. Revenues feed Russia war machine. Ukrainians and Russians die. U.S. taxpayers shell out more. India can't handle the truth. Spins leftist American fake news," unquote. And guess what? Elon Musk's X decided to fact-check this post, stating, and I quote again, "India's Russian oil purchases are for energy security, not for profit, and don't violate sanctions. While India has some tariffs, the US has a trade surplus with it in services. US also continues to import certain commodities from Russia, which is hypocritical." This riled up Navarro even more, and he decided to vent his ire on someone who was once Donald Trump's closest aide but had a falling out. That is Elon Musk. Here's what Navarro said out of sheer frustration. Wow, Elon Musk is letting propaganda into people's posts. That note below is just that. India buys Russian oil solely to profiteer. It didn't buy any before Russia invaded Ukraine. Indian government spin machine is moving high tilt. Stop killing Ukrainians, stop taking American jobs, unquote. But Navarro is wrong again. Note what he said, that India didn't buy any oil from Russia before the invasion of Ukraine. Well, it is true that Russia became a prominent oil supplier to India once the war began, and the Biden administration was encouraging India to buy oil from Russia to keep global prices stable. But Navarro is factually incorrect, because even before the war with Ukraine began, India was purchasing Russian oil, though in much smaller amounts. Between 2018 and 2019 and up to January 2022, before the war between Russia and Ukraine began, India did purchase oil from Russia, but they were a fraction of its overall share of oil imports. But it only proves that Russia was certainly part of India's energy calculus, albeit to a much smaller extent than countries in the Middle East. Despite the imposition of 50% tariffs on India, we have decided we will not back down. The Finance Minister, Nirmala Sitharaman, has said that India will continue to buy oil from Russia. What will Navarro say next? With him advising Trump, it could be a case of the Indo-American relationship taking one step forward but two steps backwards the moment Navarro opens his mouth. Bureau Report, Times Now.